it's Uncle Destiny here with you, and welcome back. It's now time for the reading for the month of August. So, I want to just remind you that this reading is a general. It's pretty much for everybody in the world. So there are parts of it that will apply to you, and there's parts of it that won't. Now we're coming up on August, which will also have the Lunastad, for those of you that are more practicing the European and Wiccan faiths, which is I think it's the straw man period, which is when the summer god is now moving into beginning the phase of death. So, we're going to go ahead and get the ancestors in and see what they have to say for the month of August, and for some of us, the end of summer as well, as we get prepped for the dawning of fall. So, let's see what they've got to say for us for August. Definitely had a number go off the field. I had another one of our big bones as well. Alrighty, so what is still on the field? We have the work and the relationship bone. Now, what's interesting is the way they cross each other. They actually kind of remind me of a slanted box, or like a river with two bridges crossing it. And we have ones that are going under and over, and then one that's going over. So work is going to be a primary factor, and so is relationships. So it's entirely likely that in this next month you're going to find some new connections around work and relationships. So this may be a new friendship. This may be the end of a friendship. This may even be a romantic start. Someone you're going to meet because of the situation of work. Now, work-wise, it could be that the situation is either a change in position, new personnel coming on, old personnel leaving. But they're interconnected towards setting you up for the coming future. Now, the position of the copper piece is closest to the work bone. So this is meaning that whatever work you're doing, whatever you're going to be doing, it still has the strength and power and energy coming from spirit. So there's very much a divine spirit element to what's going to be going on in this next month. So you should definitely look at it as being the point of, where do you suddenly find yourself being more at peace at work? And if you are feeling yourself at peace, that's because you're in the place that you're supposed to be. When we feel uncertain, questioning, and uncomfortable, and we just really want to leave, those are the places we don't belong. But when we feel that sense of peace of being in the eye of, say, storm and chaos, that's the moment you're where you're supposed to be. Now, what also we have around this is we have a couple of the support, one more of the support bones is around it, and it's a minor one. So there's definitely going to be some changes in your position as well, and that may be what's going to help with starting up this new relationship and friendship that's coming. You may now find yourself promoted. You may find someone who's just been promoted into your department as well. But you're going to have to make it work so that you can make the relationship work. Now the thing is that the support bones, which are the rib bones that are going across these two, they are thin ones. So this to me says it's very much at the beginning phases. So it may take a while, it may take months for the relationship to really develop, but it is going to start and develop. And it's going to be it's a thin one to start with. Now we also have the quartz piece, which is the crystal, its memory, its past, its knowledge, which is off to the side here. And again, it's near the work bone. And in that case, it is about being very much aware of things from the past, the history of the past, especially if you've had any type of relationships that have been very work-centered or work-involved. How have you managed them before? What did you learn from them not to do again? What did you learn from them that you should never do, but also that you can do. And this is also supported by another bone that's next to this, and this one is also the broken rib bone. Now the blunted end is what's closest to the crystal versus the sharp end. So this is also going to be about the memories that are going to be looking at are going to be much more broad, blunt, rather than sharp and painful. So as we move into the other bones on the field, these are now much more located near the relationships, relationship bones, and even more, we have the top of the spine bone, which can either be the top or the base of the bone, which also reminds me of the pelvis. So again, new beginnings, new relationships, and especially the part that arcs over the bones. So there's a lot of structure and support that's going on here, but these supports kind of remind me of a lean-to. So you got the ground, you got the materials over that you're going to lean over to create the shelter. So it's going to be about arranging the pieces, but assembling them in such a way that they have the right angle to be able to provide you the protection. But there is support there, and I also see one or two people sort of helping to play matchmaker, if you will, or ones who are going to strive to bring your friendships together. So really, in many ways, think of this more as first your friendship, and then if it has the potential for romance, it'll come later. But friendship, friends first. And part of what will help with that is having that moment where you can actually be vulnerable and seek support. So the moments that are going to help build this relationship aren't about what's big and showy. It's about the small moments. The moments when we need support when, say, we're just exhausted from the day or we've dealt with a difficult case, and the person or a friend who can help bring you back into perspective for it. Especially you see that here as I'm drawing my attention to the base of the tailbone. It's about balance. Balance in everything. Balance in all decisions. Balance in all reactions. Balance from the spirit, from the mind, and from the spirit. At present, our country is seeing a lot of turmoil and a lot of reactions to the stress that has gone on and that has been festering for a long time. But the biggest thing that's going to get us through this time is not being reactive, but being responsive. And always asking ourselves, what is the end? What are we expecting in the end? What do we actually expect to come from this reaction? Because if we just react, you have no control, no idea about what anyone else is going to respond with. Someone may respond with sadness, somebody may respond with anger, others will respond with understanding. And if we do that, and to have those options of making sure that somebody's responding with understanding, someone's responding with being open, it means being responsive rather than reacting. And we have a lot of people right now who are demanding change, but some of whom are coming more from the reactive standpoint than the responsive standpoint. And as a result, the reactive has good chances of hurting friends instead of hurting foes. So, with relationship being one of the big things for August, make sure that the relationship you're building is coming from that point of responding rather than from reacting. So, that's about it for what the ancestors have to say for the month of August. Tune in again and we'll see what the month of September, which also has the fall equinox happening in it. And this is Unklebtdestiny on behalf of the ancestors and the spirits and my friends here. We thank you and see you in September.